Fame as we get set for football at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. Taken about 7 yards deep, and he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. They'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. A first carry here for Joe Mixon. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Joe Mixon, the ball.
Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Partner, it's not often that I expect running backs to eclipse 100 yards in back-to-back games, but he left 100 way behind last week. I think he's going to do it again. I'm expecting 150 or more.
And last week, AFC Offensive Player of the Week, so if he does what you say he might, maybe he'll get another one.
Yeah, I think he's locked in.
He's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Myles Garrett in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
Third down.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on third down.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Call it an even 40-yard punt, 7 though on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. From the gun, he'll set up to throw. Pressure comes, and down goes Baker Mayfield.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Another try after the first down sack. Mayfield. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, as we get ready for third down, let's go back and recap here. The sack on the first play of this drive, that threw a wrench in what they were trying to accomplish because they were compelled to throw the ball on second down. A running play was not in the works. And that incompletion set up another passing down here on 3rd and long.
3rd and long for Mayfield. And that is incomplete.
Brandon, we saw these defenders fly into the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And taken right on the 30. A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. Well, he gets attended to will step aside. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Not
a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense the next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. It's Mixon on the counter. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
3rd down.
From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. He's going to float this one deep right. That's caught inside the 20. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A big 3rd down play there for the Bengals. 45 yards. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown.
Cincinnati.
A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Takes this about 5 yards deep. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
25-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
First carry for Nick Chubb. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one good for 33 and a first. Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get your normal ballet. But at the same time, that was well executed.
It's Logan Wilson there to bring him down. Nice job there on the tackle. Keep him to the short gain. And, of course, he got some good news this week. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's effort.
And part of the reason he got that award, because of plays like that. Not every play is spectacular. Not every play is for a loss. Make the plays that are in front of you, keep it to short gains, and you pile up statistics.
He was looking for Landry that time, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Yards to go.
To throw, Mayfield. They'll go screen here to Hunt. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
He'll buy some time right. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
So much for the best laid plans and best designed plays. That was good coverage along the sidelines. No place for that one to get in there. It sails incomplete.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. They'll set up the screen here to mix it. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 11 yards there, 1st down. He's the reigning AFC Offensive Player of the Week, and defensively they have to find an answer for him.
And that's what you would do if you were calling plays, right?
Yeah,
you'd make sure that he gets targeted. But the thing about it is the route running. That's what makes him so dangerous, is because no matter what is presented defensively, he runs his route with such skill that he's able to go up and get the football first in each and every situation.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
Bengal 1st down.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 43. Throwing again, it's Burrow. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports.
7, Browns 3.
This one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. This time Burrow will look to throw. Dancing to his left. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
Well, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Letting one go deep for the end zone. And that will be incomplete.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far. But on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
And it bangs off the right upright, no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And no mistaking that sound. It reverberated through the whole stadium.
And it's the sound Brandon no kicker wants to hear. It looked like he had it on target the whole way, but the upright said,
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Wilson on the tackle.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost getting into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. This is taken at the 23. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Now a throw left sideline here is complete. And he goes out right around the 39. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now it's Burrow trying to lay one up deep. That's caught inside the 20. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Bengals add on to their lead. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Zane Gonzalez set to kick off.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Taken about 7 yards deep. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
25-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Chubb will have the first down and much more. And all the way down to the 41-yard line. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Mayfield. Eluding the pressure right. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The Pro Bowler Odell Beckham, the intended receiver. But it's going to be 2nd down.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And finding the tight end, Hooper. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
They'll take over first.
Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice, steady gain.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he will be taken down, but not before he gets this to the Browns' 26. A big chunk of yardage there, 37 yards.
First down, Cincinnati.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
Looks like they went for the combo play there. A nice ample gain on the ground on the previous play. Going for the big shot on that one, unsuccessfully.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Burrow will throw. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
On 3rd down, Burrow. His throw caught at about the 5. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown.
Number 11, touchdown, Cincinnati.
A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that's the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
Fielded near the back of the end zone. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
If you know, you know. That's the reason we ball for. Circle round twice for the encore. If you know, you know.
The Browns drive about to get started. And the interception last time on the opponent's side of the field. Certainly not what they wanted.
Put it mildly, that is so frustrating because that signifies there's a drive going on.
And now off to the races down the right side. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Browns are able to strike quickly for 6. Dan Bailey now for the extra point. And the lead cut down to 9.
Makes the score Bengals 19, Browns 10.
So the lead is now dwindled to 9 as the kick here is away. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return.
25-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Now Burrow on first down. Flushed out right. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A really nice gain of 25 yards. From midfield now, Burrow. He's going to rifle. That's caught inside the 20. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD.
Cincinnati.
A big play there. On his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Bengals are able to grow their lead. That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive, and it seemed like they may be giving up momentum. Not so fast.
No, not at all, because they ended up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
20-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
And he's got his man. That's Landry. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. Mayfield on first down. Flush to his right. And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He connected on his first, this from 41. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
The Bengals take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. Takes this about 5 yards deep. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 23. He'll start things off with a handoff to Chubb. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line.
Taken down.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. it's Chubb. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. I was pretty surprised there when they lined up to run it on second and long, but it worked out for them.
It certainly did, and that requires some confidence, some fortitude, and a little bit of hope, doesn't it? You hope you catch the defense just right and break off a big run to help yourself out on the next down.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. From the gun, Mayfield. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Taken from just outside the 30. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Bengals drive about to get going. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion.
Brings up
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Burrow looking to pass. He'll drop this one down to Mixon. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards there and a first down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
Burrow going to fake to Mixon and now look to throw. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. First down. Here's Burrow. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
Gain of 22 yards.
A well-executed 22-yard gain. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Mixon trying to punch it into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Here's a run with Mixon, and he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1. They're held again, and do we have a goal line stand brewing? It's 3rd and goal. Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown reception. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
13. Zane Gonzalez set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Third quarter action. Appreciate you joining us from Cleveland, Ohio. 2nd and 10. They go play action. Mayfield. Escaping the pressure right. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable. And that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
He finds Beckham complete and past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
3-yard line.
Mayfield with a quick fire to Landry. 30, past the 20, and all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jarvis Landry, his first touchdown on the year. And the Browns make some inroads here on that deficit.
His kick.
Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Bengals drive about to get going. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way down to the 22-yard line.
It's a
big play there for the Bengals.
First down.
53 yards. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Here's Burrow. Looking sideline, incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Eluding the pressure right. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Again, it's Burrow. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And he's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. A 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Bengals add on to their lead. And that, boys and girls, is an NFL record 6th touchdown reception. The record has stood since 1950. What a game.
How about that? Because so many things have to go right in order for it to happen. Not just him catching the passes. Someone delivering it accurately. Offensive line giving him time to throw the ball. A true team record. But he stands above it because he was on the receiving end of so many great plays.
Takes this about 5 yards deep. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
They run it again with Chubb. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. And we're back now here in Cleveland. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. This one quickly into the hands of Landry. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now a 2nd down and 6. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb, and he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. He is going nowhere as he is enveloped behind the line. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
And he'll get credit for a punt inside the 20. Not by much, but inside the 20 at the 19-yard line.
19-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And this one has gone pretty well to form. They've come in, had little problem thus far, and now they'll try to polish things off in the 4th. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
From the shotgun, it's Burrow. And the Browns' pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Jordan Elliott busting through to get him for a loss of 6. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A gain there of 30 big ones.
Bengals.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Burrow on play action. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown.
Touchdown.
They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. Taken about 7 yards deep. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line.
The ball carrier.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that field like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The Browns on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 10. Working out of the gun. Mayfield trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Throwing now, Burrow on first down. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal. Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off.
They're certainly not letting up on the pressure in this one. And oftentimes you hear this expression, all gas, no break from defenses. But in this case, it's the offense still throwing the football up big in the 4th quarter.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it and give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
Touchdown, Cincinnati.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor in effect.
Now, these have been no picnic for him so far. He's missed 2, but this one is good.
Score, Bengals 55, Browns 20.
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Browns drive about to get started. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This will be their 3rd straight defeat. He pushes through a would-be tackler to get about 3 yards, 2nd down.
He's brought down at the 20-yard line. A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7.
On 2nd and 7, Mayfield. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And taken right at the 35. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Bengals drive about to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Again, it's Mixon. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7 left.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
On 3rd down, Mixon, and the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight,
It's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Second and 2.
One last shot for Mayfield here. Now Mayfield lost the football, and the Bengals grab it.
Today's final score.
Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Cincinnati, they remain one of the hottest teams out there as the win moves them to 6-1. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for the Browns, they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3-4 through 7 games. And they'll get a home date next week against the Minnesota.